deeply honored and humbled for it to be Hillary Day. But that all depends on all of you and your family and your friends and your colleagues. How many of you have already voted by mail? How many of you have a ballot sitting at home that you haven't used yet? Well, maybe tonight you can put it in the mail, because as long as it's postmarked, tomorrow it's going to count. But then everybody else, please come out and vote tomorrow on June the 7th. I have had such a great time campaigning in California. Both my husband and I, we've been crisscrossing the state, going from south to north and east to west, because we love California. And we also believe that California represents the future. And it's a bright future. It's a positive future. I am tired of Donald Trump insulting Americans. I am tired of Donald Trump talking down America. I am confident and optimistic about our future, but we're going to have to do some things, like elect the right person to be president of the United States. So here's what I want you to know. We are going to work together to create more good jobs. Infrastructure jobs, our roads, our bridges, our tunnels, our ports, our airports, our water systems. We are going to have more advanced manufacturing. I believe if we invent it in America, we ought to make it in America. And we are going to combat climate change with more clean, renewable energy jobs. California is leading the way. I want to support what you're doing and create more jobs and businesses. We're going to do more for small businesses, like all of the businesses here in this plaza. We're going to help you get started and grow your small business. And we're going to raise the national minimum wage so that when you work full time, you're not still in poverty. We are going to make childcare affordable for working people. We are going to work for paid family leave so that you can take care of your family and do your work. And we are finally going to guarantee equal pay for women's work. Now, this is a problem for all women, but it's a big problem for Latinas. White women don't make the same amount. African American women don't make the same amount for doing the same job, but Latina women are paid even less. So this is not just a woman's issue. If you have a mother, a wife, a sister, or a daughter who's working, it's your issue. And we're going to finally guarantee that if you do the job, you get the pay. And it should be equal to what anybody else gets. Now, everything I've just said, Donald Trump disagrees with. He doesn't want to raise the minimum wage. He doesn't think that equal pay is a problem. He doesn't believe in climate change, so he's not worried about creating more jobs or dealing with some of the challenges that places face. And when I talk like this, when I say equal pay, raise the minimum wage, let's do more to make sure that women are treated equally and fairly, he accuses me of playing the woman card. If that's playing the woman card, you know what I say? Deal me in. So my friends, we're going to get the economy going again. You know, if you want the economy to work, you know you need a Democrat in the White House, right? When my husband was president, we had 23 million new jobs and incomes rose for everybody. And then we had a Republican administration. And my goodness, we had the worst financial crisis since the 1930s. President Obama came in, he had to dig us out of the ditch that the Republicans dropped us into. And I don't think President Obama gets the credit he deserves for making sure the economy got moving again. So I think we have a pretty good idea of what we need to do. We need to have a Democrat in the White House next January. We need to be working together. We are stronger together. And we also need to make sure that every single child in this country has a good teacher in a good school, no matter where that child lives or who that child's parents are. And I want to start with early childhood education so every kid gets a chance to start school prepared. And then I want to work with our teachers. I want to be a good partner with our educators. So in elementary and secondary schools, we're doing the best we can to help every child, no matter what the circumstances of that child might be. And then we're going to make college affordable for everybody again. Under my plan, you're not going to have to borrow a penny to attend a 4-year public college or university. And we're going to help you pay down your college debts. If you have student debts, we're going to help you pay them down and pay them off. I'm also going to defend the Affordable Health Care Act, which has helped so many people here in Los Angeles and in California. But I want to make it better, and I want to get the cost down, because copays and premiums and deductibles and prescription drug costs are going up too fast. And so I want to make sure that we continue to improve it, but I will fight against Republican attempts to repeal and end the Affordable Care Act. We want everybody in America to have health care. And there are two issues I want to quickly mention that I will also work on with your help: mental health and addiction. Too many people across this country are suffering because one or the other or both. There still is a stigma. People don't want to seek help. We need more help, more resources, family members, friends, colleagues. We all need to help folks get the kind of care they should have, and that means we've got to have a better system for providing it. And I intend to make that a really high priority of my presidency, so people are not suffering and dying. And we are going to fight for comprehensive immigration reform with full and equal citizenship. I have said that within the first 100 days of my presidency, I will introduce legislation and I will start working to get it passed. And I will defend DACA and DAPA, and I will stand up against the bullying and bigotry of Donald Trump, who wants to deport 11 million hardworking immigrants. I'm proud we are a nation of immigrants. I'm proud of that. I think every American should be proud of that. So when I hear Donald Trump attacking people based on their immigrant status, their religion, their disabilities, their gender, whatever the reason he attacks people, I am so upset, because that's not who we are as Americans. And I want to tell you, just recently, he has been attacking a distinguished federal judge. A federal judge who was born in Indiana. He is as American as I am, and he's as American as Donald Trump is. And this judge was a really effective federal prosecutor. He was appointed a judge first by your Republican governor, Governor Schwarzenegger. Then he was put on the federal bench by President Obama, serving with distinction. And he drew a case brought against Trump University, which has taken advantage of hardworking people and is called a fraudulent enterprise even by the people who work there. So Trump doesn't want you to pay attention to what this case is revealing. So he is attacking the judge and saying outrageously that the judge, who is of Mexican heritage, cannot serve fairly over his case. You know, just yesterday he said, well, because of all the negative things he has said about American Muslims, he doesn't know that an American Muslim judge could fairly preside over a case. I'm waiting for him to say, because of all the bigoted things he has said about women, that a woman judge couldn't preside. By the time he's finished, nobody's going to be left in this country that he is going to have exempted from insults. We need to stop this divisiveness, this bullying and bigotry. And the best way to do it is to send a big message tomorrow that we're going to go into the campaign prepared to make the case against him like I did in San Diego, and we're going to defeat him. So, my friends, we have a lot of work to do. We've got to reform criminal justice. We've got to reform incarceration practices. We've got to stand up to the gun lobby and fight for common sense gun safety reforms. We've got to protect women's rights, defend Planned Parenthood, defend marriage equality and discrimination against the LGBT community. We have to work with people like Secretary Padilla to defend voting rights. We need a Supreme Court, and I will appoint justices to reverse Citizens United and get unaccountable money out of our political system. So there's a lot to do here at home, but you know, we've got work to do around the world too, right? And as I did say in San Diego, Donald Trump is unqualified to be president and temperamentally unfit to be commander-in-chief. A person who talks about other countries getting nuclear weapons, who insults our friends and allies, who praises dictators, who advocates a return to torture. This is not someone who represents the best values of our country, is he? So when you go to vote tomorrow, you're voting not only for the next president, but the next commander-in-chief. And I am very honored that I served for 8 years in the Senate, and I served on the Armed Services Committee, that I served as Secretary of State. I know how hard these choices are, and I know what it takes to have a cool head and to listen to other people, to listen to the experts. When Donald Trump was asked, who are your foreign policy advisors? Who do you listen to, Mr. Trump? He said, I listen to myself because I have a very good brain. When he was asked what foreign policy experience he had, he said, well, I took the Miss Universe pageant to Russia. I mean, you can't help but laugh, but it's kind of frightening, isn't it? Well, the best way to end the threat that he presents to our country and the world is to defeat him starting tomorrow in the California primary. And finally, here's what I want you to know. I am a proud Democrat. I am a person who believes America's best years are ahead of us, that we should have the confidence and optimism to make sure we keep the American promise and dream alive for every person, and particularly every child in America. But I do not think I have all the answers. I actually think you learn from folks by listening. That we should get back to respecting each other. I want to unify our country, and I will go anywhere, talk to anybody to find common ground, to solve our problems, to make progress. I am absolutely thrilled to be competing in this primary. We have worked hard up and down this great, great state, and I need your help tomorrow. I'm asking you to come out and vote for me tomorrow And if you do, I stand up and fight for you and work for you through this campaign all the way into the White House. Let's make the future we deserve.